Welcome to CAP Chat. My name is Josh Tyler. I'm the National College Advisory Program Director for Rush Soccer. Today I'm very excited for a very special guest. It's Tyler Tomlinson. He's the head women's soccer coach at Culver-Stockton College, just finished his 9th season. I'm actually very excited to have Tyler on the show. I played with Tyler back at Culver-Stockton College, and we actually had a radio show called The Tyler Show back in the day. And so we're very excited. And we've, in the years when I was recruiting when I was on campus recruitment, and Tyler and I spent a lot of time together. He's one of my near and dear friends. And so to have him on the show, I'm very excited to have Tyler on the show. Tyler, how are you doing, man?
Our college show revisited is like the Tyler Show Part 2. Josh and Tyler are now fatter.
yeah. Tyler Show Part 2.
No, thanks for having me, man. I'm really excited for you and for Rush and getting this thing off the ground. Would love to help out.
So tell me a little bit about the NAIA and what kind of makes it different from NCAA.
One of the main differences is age restriction. The NAIA does not put on an age restriction to someone playing athletics. Outside of that, just from the women's soccer standpoint, we have over about 200 teams in the nation right now. So it's it's a really big intercollegiate association. And, we give out scholarships, both academic and athletic, just the same as a Division II NCAA model or Division I NCAA model.
How do your scholarships work for I guess, in NAIA, and also if Culver's different, or kind of tell me about the NAIA scholarship part?
Yeah, so, when you get to that part, a lot of it goes down to equivalencies, and basically how many scholarships can you put on the field at one time. So it's very similar, once again, to NCAA Division I or Division II. So for the NAIA, I believe it's 11 scholarships, possibly 12 scholarships that you can put out on the field at one time in a season, basically. So, each school is able to approach their scholarships the way they want to do it. There's a lot of colleges within the NAIA that have basically the coach has a lump sum of money for athletic scholarships that they give out. And once that's out, then they're looking at maybe an academic walk-on scholarship for some players. Other colleges work on what's called a discount rate. So basically, they can give every student athlete, 58% of tuition, or they can balance it out however they want, and give one kid 62%, another kid 56%, as long as it comes back to 58%. But regardless of how they're going to approach that, they can only play so much of that scholarship money on the field at one time. So ultimately, what I think one of the things is and tell me if this is true or not with NAIA, is kids really need to focus on what the bottom line out-of-pocket expenses, because if Culver, I'm not sure what Culver's tuition is. What are you guys shooting at? $32,000? Our tuition right now is at $27,000 for next year. So
if you're at $27,000 and let's say another school is at $40,000, but that $40,000 school is going to give you $20,000. And you give a same kid $20,000, your out-of-pocket expense at Culver is substantially less than the other school. So, the out-of-pocket expense is what a lot of kids, I think, miss. Is that true for you?
Yeah, so you're right. And that should be true for any school that an athlete is looking at. Don't just look at the dollar amount. Try to look at the out-of-pocket. Try to look at the percentage that you'd be paying on the tuition when you start to make the comparisons. Start to look at, Can I get help for my kid with a campus job? Is there an opportunity there for my student to make some more money and not have to go anywhere? So there's a lot of opportunities that students should be looking at. What other scholarships does your school provide? Does your school accept scholarships that I get in my hometown that I can bring to your college? Those are opportunities that, any incoming freshmen shouldn't pass up when they start to look at money and making sure they understand the whole process with comparing schools.
what do you look for specifically? I'm gonna back this up and ask a different question first. So we take showcases, and when you go to showcases, are you randomly watching games, or how does a showcase work for you?
Yeah, for me personally, I base a lot of my showcase attendance on player response. So I feel like if a showcase is doing the right thing, they're producing the list of college coaches that are going to be at a potential site, and then the players should have access to that list of coaches and be able to contact the coach to give them their schedule and when the player is going to have a game. So for me, a lot of times I'll base what showcases I attend off of the volume of responses that I get. Hey, coach, come watch me play. I'm interested in your college. So that's, for me, always going to be the first and foremost thing that I do is I'm going to go out and watch the students that are most interested in Culver or that we've already created a dialogue with at some point. So from there, it's really hard sometimes to just be able to sit at a random field and watch a random game and then expect to get a result from that, because maybe no kid on that field is necessarily interested in my college. So that's how I organize, I guess, what tournaments I go to, and then my time with watching these players.
So I think one of the takeaways for this is if they don't reach out to you, you may not go at all. Yeah. And, I'll be honest with you, Josh, in the Midwest, there's a lot of showcases. Mm-hmm. And over the years, the volume that I get from certain showcases has increased. And now I'm going to a showcase I didn't go to the year before, or it has decreased where now there was a tournament I went to for 5 years straight, and now I haven't gone to for 4 years straight, because it's not necessarily they have less teams or less kids, but maybe those players aren't as interested in my college, and that's okay. Yeah, that's something we talk about quite a bit. Is across Rush Nation, coaches and players ask me, what showcases do you recommend? And the problem is it changes every 2 years. You look at Castle in the Carolinas, that one's in a big showcase a couple years ago. Disney's not what it used to be anymore, and Disney used to be the showcase, and so it's such a tough thing to know. Especially, that's why I tell kids, if you're going to go, you got to reach out and you kind of see what happens. But when you're watching, what do you look for and recruit? Say, in a given showcase, I'm not sure. You're probably getting 60, 70 emails the week before. And so what do kids do at a showcase to stand out and to be different from all the other teams that are there? Well, I think the first thing that would probably be a turn off is if you're trying to be someone that you aren't, because college coaches are watching. I think each player has to be true to themselves. They have to understand their strengths, and they need to play to those strengths. Each player is unique. And as a coach, I've been asked that question a million times. Like, what do you look for in a player? Well, when I first started out, I felt that one of the things that our team lacked at Culver-Stockton was we needed more speed. So I was immediately drawn to faster players. But the longer I coached and the more we started to get in faster players, then I realized, we need more technical players. Then we needed more creative players that can be playmakers. So a lot of it for me now is dependent upon need. But in general, I want to see how they interact with their teammates. I want to make sure that I'm big on defense. So, when they lose the ball, what's the first few things they do after they lose the ball? How do they get into a tackle? Sure, can a forward score a goal, but how does a forward defend a center back within a system? So there's a lot of little things probably that we look at as coaches that maybe the player isn't necessarily thinking about. Right. And so you get this, and so you talk about this, what you look for. What's the worst highlight video or that you've gotten, or what makes a highlight video bad or possibly good? We've all seen the worst, but what makes it good and what made it bad? Well, let me tell you, the worst. Let me tell you something. The worst video is no video. The fact that you and I can sit down here face to face and have a conversation, and a parent can't take their iPad or iPhone out and film their kid for. Are you telling me you've never seen a video that is disadvantageous to the recruitment? Like, it's been that awful, like a goalkeeper getting scored on between the legs. Have you ever seen a video like that?
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. The worst videos I've seen are ones that are too close on the player.
Okay.
As a coach that's recruiting someone, and this is one of our main tools, we're going to have to see like 3 to 5 players around you at all times, because like if you're zoomed in and you make a give and go pass and then it's just you running, we don't know what happened with your pass. Maybe you passed the ball to the other team 10 times, but it's just too close up. So it's really hard for us to be able to make a quality judgment. But you just have to be able to get video, and think about the competition level. That's one thing that coaches are maybe smarter than we think sometimes. And we realize when, your first 5 highlights are against this pink team, and, the pink team, their goalie has like a bib on, and or a penny,
no gloves,
call it, and like no gloves, and you're just scoring goals at will. Like that's not going to make you look better. I just watched a highlight film recently where, the first 5 highlights were goals. From
60 yards out. the goalie trips and breaks an arm and it rolls in.
Right. Yeah, she like forgets to dive or something. And so I'm like, well, I don't know what compilation we're looking at here. Bad goalies are good soccer players. So it's okay to put the tougher teams that you played against on your highlight film. So, but let me say this: it's your highlight film. Make you look as best as possible. That's what I want to see. And some players will ask, do you just want random things or do you want my best? And I'm like, I want your best because everyone else in the nation is giving me their best. So your best has got to compete with someone else's best. That's how we're going to determine sometimes.
And so final question here is we talk about emails a lot, and that's one of the things that I focus on quite a bit. And how important are emails and email addresses and email subjects and the emails that are written to you? How important is that?
Yeah, one of the things that I like that I get to talk to you sometimes, and feel free to call me again, because I feel like there's trends that happen quite often. Right now, Josh, the biggest trend that I'm kind of dealing with at Culver-Stockton is the lack of your class. Right? What year do you graduate?
Because the AIDS matrix has made us all do math, and we're not good at math. Like we don't want to. You're requiring me. I'm an 03. Carry the 1, divide by 2. You graduate in 1998. No, that can't be right.
Right. I'm on Jimmy's team. He's a 03 green, premier. And I'm like, look, that doesn't mean anything to me. And you could be playing 5 years above your age, Right. What year do you graduate? If you don't have it in your signature, just go ahead and put it in your signature. If you're a high school student right now, right? Tyler Tomlinson, Canton, Missouri, class of 2023. Right. Just leave it on there. That's your signature. That's not going to change until you graduate. So just go ahead and put it on there. Put your cell phone number on there. That's my biggest trend right now. And what I'm saying, I can't even email a kid back with like a good, here's the next steps you need to do if you're interested in Culver, because am I dealing with the 7th grader? I don't know. Right. I don't know. So I have to write them back. Hey, how's it going? What year do you graduate? Oh, sorry, coach. And so it's taking more time, and they might not check their email for 3 or 4 days. And
especially when you start talking about in NCAA is 03. Half of 03 you can't talk to in NCAA. So as an NCAA, it's even more imperative. But
absolutely,
okay.
The restrictions there could make the biggest difference.
Recruitment wise, NAIA, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, for the most part.
There's no restriction on age, but I'll be honest. Most of the coaches I know, we're looking at like a sophomore year might be the earliest that you talk to a player, maybe a freshman year contact. I'm really big on sophomore to junior year as far as like phone conversations. Right. Like that. And I think that's pretty normal across the nation.
So you kind of identifying as a sophomore and start a dialogue really towards the end of the sophomore junior year, and you start that communication happening. Okay.
And it's okay, I think, for a player to say what they prefer. Right. I had a girl just the other day say, I prefer to text, not email, so here's my cell.
Right. Great. Yeah. We can text still. We're okay. We got the flip
Yep.
phone. We got the flip phone out, and occasionally we put the wrong emoji. Like, oh no, that's a happy face. That's not. No, I'm happy for you. That's not. Geez, Louise.
Sorry, I put the sunglasses guy on every tweet.
I thought you looked cool. Maybe not. Tyler, thanks for taking the time, man. We really appreciate you swinging by. And that was Tyler Tomlinson from Culver-Stockton College.